We're back here on Good Morning Lake Martin. It is top of the hour. Welcome to all the folks around the state of Alabama with the Alabama Cable Network joining us for the second hour of Good Morning Lake Martin. 80 cities across the state from Huntsville to Mobile and all cities in between. We welcome you in this morning. Doug Roberts is in the house. Got the coffee brewed over there this morning with all that good coconut oil in it. It looks like pond scum over there. I don't know what that is. That's
but
scary.
It's good for you.
So helpful. So helpful. Healthy. A couple of guys here with me this morning, good friends of mine. Welcome to the set this morning. Russell Wright and also Brett Lechtenberg with us this morning. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, sir.
How's everybody doing today?
Great, Cubby. Thanks for having me.
Russell from just right across town. Brett just drove over from Utah.
Just a quick trip.
Just a quick trip, day trip. No, Brett has been with us before and a number of times by phone. And we'll do a quick introduction. It's good to have you back in Alabama, my friend.
It's great to be here, Cubby.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk with you before the book was released originally. Catch us up to speed as to where we are now. I know you've got great news about that first book.
Yeah, we launched it. Everything went really smoothly, and then we did a little promotion campaign, and I had a goal of making the book a bestseller on Amazon.
Sure.
And as you may or may not know, on Amazon there's a variety of different categories and different things that you can put your books in and that kind of stuff. So our goal was to make it a bestseller in one category. That was the goal. But it went really well. We ended up making bestseller in 3 different categories.
Sweet.
Which was, phenomenal, which is great. And that has been it's given us a lot of buzz, a lot of momentum as we move forward, and it's starting to draw some attention to the cyberbullying book that came out after that. And I'm really excited. It's a nice thing to have happen.
I know you've probably had a number of interviews since the first release, and maybe even more so now with the follow-up. What are some of the most pertinent questions you get pertaining to the first book? What are some of the questions you get that people are maybe most concerned or biggest questions they may have about it?
You bet. One of the biggest things is, what is bullying?
Right.
There's still a lot of confusion, whether it's the kids, whether it's the parents, whether it's teachers or principals, having problems defining bullying. I've sat down across from more than one principal, more than one teacher, and they just, Brett, I'm not exactly sure what bullying actually is and what constitutes bullying and what is not bullying. And so that's probably the number one question.
And you dealt with that early on, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the very first thing that I addressed. Well, not the very first, but right up there in the beginning of the book is, set the parameters for what bullying is. We got to have a definite definition, and really it boils down to repeated behavior.
Yeah, there was no universal definition, right, as we discussed, which I was even blown away with being addressing that kind of problem as well for many years.
Absolutely. And so how are you going to fix a problem that you can't define?
Gotcha.
We've got to set a framework that we can deal with, that everybody can wrap their arms around, so to speak, and then move forward. So that was the first thing, was to set a definition and make sure that it included the word repeated. Because a lot of kids, for example, they start coming to their teachers and their parents as this becomes a hot topic, and they'll say things like, Jimmy cut in front of me at the lunch line, he's bullying me. No, that's not bullying.
No, he just runs faster.
Hungry, right?
Yeah. Things like that. So going in and teaching the kids what bullying is and what bullying is not.
Yeah.
So that parents also understand what bullying is and bullying is not, was the number one thing.
But if Jimmy jumped in frone of me in the lunch line for 3 straight weeks and elbows me out of the way,
that's like the exact.
it kind of changes the tone of that.
I was going to say, don't you have
Jimmy, come on, tell us.
That was me, man.
We can go to the couch if need be, by the way.
I need some counseling, Brett, after this session. But you know what? But sometimes it goes way deeper than that.
Sure.
I mean,
absolutely.
Even to the physical point, and
it's
hard to talk about sometimes.
Absolutely, and it's a couple of the other things where parents, or let's start with the kids, because there's like 3 phases here. The kids will actually go up and say, report something to a teacher. Let's take this as a school bully situation, right? So they'll go up and report something to the playground monitor, the teacher, whoever, and for whatever reason, that particular person doesn't deal with the problem right away. Maybe they've got 2 issues they're dealing with, one gets tabled, and then they forget. Very common. What happens is the kids start to look at it and they go, oh, I told the teacher, I told the principal, I told whoever, and they didn't do anything about it. they start to lose hope, right? Because all right, the people who told me that I'm supposed to get help from didn't do anything, and they don't realize that there's a lot of things going on, and if they just spoke up again and reminded them, they could get some help, right? And so it causes this cycle down with the kids where they start to withdraw. They don't want to talk about it anymore because the person they trusted didn't give them any help.
They're like, why report it?
That's right.
That's what's going to happen.
With the biggest mistake I've seen parents make is that they don't take the situation seriously enough right off the bat. Kids will be kids. Oh, I'm sure you're over exaggerating.
Part of growing up.
Whatever. Yeah, it's part of growing up, part of going to school. Well, a little bit of that is true. You know,
there's a little pecking order.
Yeah. I mean, of course, kids are going to work things out. But that's the number one thing I see that parents do is they don't take it seriously enough, and they don't act quickly enough. And then a lot of them, if they do act, they are so emotional that they can't relay the problem adequately to the principal, the teacher, whoever they need to get help from. And then how's a principal or teacher supposed to help you if you don't actually have all the information, you don't have the facts, and you just kind of come in there and you're just kind of spraying at them like a fire hose? Well, I don't know about you, but drinking out of a fire hose doesn't work too well for me. How am I going to work with that? And so that's what was originally the foundation for the book, was to give people the tools so that they could communicate with each other. And my goal, it was originally for parents so they could take the emotion out of the situation, help deal with the school or whomever, and make their lives a lot easier. Well, now we're finding that we're giving the same tools to the school. They really like it for the exact same reason. I can get all the facts. I can go to a parent and I can give them all the facts, and they're not as emotional, and it's an easier situation to deal with. The lines of communication open dramatically when we're not all fired up and, just
much more concise.
And so now you can get real help.
Let's talk about that some more. We'll go into more detail about those facts in just a second. This is Good Morning Lake Martin.